Shalom, shalom, mishpacha wa habarim. What's up? It's your girl, Sister Ashanti. Once again, I'm here with the last and final video of the series to help you get a good foundational grip on understanding the initial basics of learning biblical Hebrew, right? And as you might have seen, I have uploaded chapter 1, chapter 2, and now this is going to be chapter 3 of this material here, Basics of Biblical Hebrew, Gary Pratico and Miles Van Pelt. This is the grammar book, and the grammar book helps you learn all of the principal rules for the language of Aramaic block script Hebrew so that you can pick up a Tonic and read. This is the grammar book, and there is a workbook. There is a workbook. You may purchase the workbook if you want to. All right, it's pretty decent. However, what I'm doing here is I'm assisting those who want to come into the class that I have going on already, Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm assisting people who want to get into the class to be able to get caught up and to be able to have a good firm grip on the initial grammar rules. And then, you know, if you want to move forward, you come into the class, Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Right? I do not assign the lessons and the exercises from the workbook. So if you do want to get the workbook, it's up to you. It's definitely worth getting if you decide to get that material. And this is going to be chapter 3. We're going to be learning about syllabification. So in chapter 1, we talked about the Hebrew alphabet. In chapter 2, we talked about the Hebrew vowel system, and in this video we're going to talk about syllabification, consonant plus vowel equaling a sound, or consonant plus vowel equaling a syllable. All right, so if you have not done so, catch up on videos 1 and 2. Right, so in this one I'm going to be taking my time. I'm going to be doing some writing on the screen, as you notice. Going to be using the whiteboard for Zoom here to convey some messages and to actually show examples. Sometimes I'll be reading from the book, right? And sometimes I'll have the book in PDF form up, and then I'll be using the PDF form of the book as well as reading from the physical book here in front of me, all right? As an FYI to practice, you want to start off writing out the grapheme or the consonants or the letters of Aramaic block script Hebrew. You want to write out the grapheme or the picture representation, then you want to write out what they are called, and then you want to write out the numerical value. And also to practice for chapter 2, the vowel system, you pretty much want to learn how to create the paradigm chart, all of the class vowels on the top. So that is A class, E class, I class, O class, and U class. And then on the side, you would write S for short, you would write C or L for changeable long or long. And then you would write UL for unchangeable long. And then you would write R for reduced, right? And then you write out all of the nikudot or vowel markings for the consonant, what they're called, what they look like, and where they would be placed or seen when you're looking at a Hebrew Tanakh. All right? All right. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to try to have a little fun in this video, right? Because it's a lot to cover. It's a lot to cover. All right, so here we go. Syllabification and pronunciation. All right. So while I'm reading this, let's put up the PDF here. Let's share the screen. All righty. So on the screen, you see where it says 2 rules. All right, 2 rules. But I'm going to elaborate on this, right? Let me give you a backdrop. So it says now that we have covered the Hebrew system of consonants and vowels, it becomes important to refine our ability to pronounce Hebrew words correctly. To do so, it is necessary to work on the issue of syllabification. Syllabification is simply the process of dividing words into syllables, the basic sounds of each word. In most English dictionaries, entries are commonly syllabified to aid with pronunciation. Examples include biblical, grammar, and introduction, right? Some words have only one syllable, which are called monosyllabic, and therefore they have no syllable divider. Words like dog, cat, friend. In English, we do this instinctively. But since we are not native speakers of Hebrew, right? Anybody looking at this video over here in America, where Hebrew is not your primary language, but English is, right? Um, we will not have the instincts needed to correctly syllabify Hebrew words. For this reason, we will have to rely on certain rules and principles to aid us in this process. So in this class, we are also going to talk about the schwa a little bit more, and we're also going to touch more on the Dagesh Forte, as I was saying in the previous classes. We're also going to look at how you distinguish a comments and a comments hatu, right? The comments, the long as in father, it looks like a little T underneath, and the comments hatu, for the short O as in bottle, looks like a T as well. So we're going to show what sign or symbol we use to distinguish the two. All right, we're going to talk about that. So this is going to be a pretty long class, but as I indicated, you take your time, you put in diligent study, and then you'll be able to retain and memorize what's being brought forward to you. We're also going to learn about the furtive patak, and we're also going to learn about the Hebrew diphthong. There are about 6 Hebrew diphthongs. So all right, so this is going to be a jam-packed class, right? Pretty jam-packed. All right. Let's make this a little bigger. All right. All right, there are 2 rules of syllabification. All right, in order to divide Hebrew words into syllables, you must begin with 2 simple rules. Number 1, every syllable must begin with one consonant and have only one vowel. In Hebrew, therefore, a syllable does not begin with a vowel, with one exception to be discussed in chapter 5, section 7.2, right? And that's if you want to get further into continuing learning to read biblical Hebrew and be able to translate it for yourself as you go along, right? The Hebrew word for word is dabar. That's what you see here on the PDF. So the Hebrew word for word is dabar and is syllabified as dalit with the comments, and then you have a line, a red line, right? And then you have the bet with the comments under the bet and then a resh. So this example has 2 syllables, each beginning with a consonant and each having only one vowel, right? So let's annotate here. So you have dabar, right? Dabar. The dalit would be a consonant right? And the comments under the dalet would be a vowel, right? Let me write that a little different, right? The dalet would be a consonant. I'm writing backwards. And then the comments under the dalet would be a vowel, right? You have a consonant and a vowel. So a consonant plus a vowel equals a sound, a syllable, right? Now to the left side of the red line in the word dabar, the bet would be a consonant. The comments under the bet would be a vowel. And the resh is a consonant, right? Now, and excuse me, I'm having a bit of well, I like to call the allergies going on in Sacramento, right? The city of trees, not just farm to fork, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the consonant plus vowel equals a sound or a syllable, and we're going to talk about what I just drew, CVC or CV. All right, so we're going to clear the drawings. All righty, so let's continue talking about the next thing for the rules of syllabification. There are only two types of syllables, right? So let me share my screen again. And let's go down here. Right? There are only two types of syllables, open and closed. Open syllables end with a vowel and closed syllables end with a consonant. And these two types of syllables are present in the above example, right? As I just drew out. And the above example was da bar, word, matter, or thing, right? And so the first syllable, da, the dalet in the comments, is open because it ends in a vowel. The second syllable, bar, bet, comments, and resh, is closed because it ends in a consonant, right? So this is what you call your open syllable. Let's notate here. Let's annotate here. The dalet is a consonant, and the comments under the dalet is a vowel. This is an open syllable, right? And bar, the bet, is a consonant. The comments under the bet is a vowel. And the resh is a consonant. That's what you call a closed syllable, right? And so these two rules are the essence of this chapter. And the remaining of the chapter, we will discuss more specific issues and potential difficulties with the application of these rules to Hebrew words, right? We're going to talk about Hebrew accents now. Hebrew accents. Hebrew accent. Hebrew accents. So Hebrew words are usually accented or stressed on the last syllable. So what this means is that the force of pronunciation is usually given to the last syllable. So I'm going to use dabar for the first example. I know you see sefer, but I'm going to use dabar, right? Real quick. So we have dalet. Oh, let's do this. Let's write above here. You have dalet, bet, resh, dabar. All right. Okay, so dabar, the stress or force of pronunciation falls on the last syllable. Bar. All right. Cultivating the ability to stress the last syllable in Hebrew words will be difficult for most of us since we typically stress the first syllable in English. You should also note that there are some Hebrew words that are not stressed on the last syllable. The stress in these words will be indicated by an accent mark over the stressed syllable. All right. So let's clear this. Now we're going to talk about sefer. Right? Sefer. Okay, so the word for scroll or book is sefer. Right? But I'm gonna draw, let's see. All right, sefer. Right? So this word happens to be stressed on the first syllable. And so this is indicated by the accent mark over the samek. So the accent mark over the samek I just drew, it looks like an arrow pointing to the left. That's called the accent mark, right? So this indicates that the stress is on the first syllable, right? And so if a word is stressed on the last syllable, however, no accent mark is used. If the stress falls to any other syllable, it is indicated with the accent mark. All right? All right. Let's clear the drawing. Let's go back up. And we're going to talk about syllable classification. All right, syllable classification. Let's see. Yeah. Here we go. Syllable classification. Says in Hebrew, syllables are classified by their proximity to the accent. Right? So the tonic, the accented syllable, is called the tonic or tone syllable. All right. So let's type out the word dabar. Let's write out the word dabar up top real quick here. Dabar. right? Da bar. So bar, that would be the tonic syllable, right? Because it is the accented syllable. And so in the example with the say fair, remember, the samek would have been the tonic syllable because it had the accented syllable on it, right? So when you start out with a word that has at least 2 syllables, then the last syllable on the end, that's your tonic syllable. That's the accented syllable, right? Now, number 2, pretonic. We're going to talk about pretonic, right? Pretonic. Syllables in the pre-tonic position occur before the tonic syllable. So in the word da bar, right, that I wrote out, the syllable da is the pretonic. That's the pre-tonic, right? It's the pretonic because it occurs before the tonic syllable. Alrighty? All right. Now we're going to talk about pro-pretonic. All right. So let's look at this word here. They have in the example, it's debarim. Debarim. Scrolls or books, right? So the syllable occurring before the pre-tonic syllable is called the propretonic syllable. So in the example here, debarim, right? The syllables de are now the pro-pretonic, and the ba is the pretonic, and then reem is the tonic, right? This takes some practice, all right? So this is your syllables. Syllable classification. You have a tonic, you have a pretonic, and then your 3 syllable words, you have a propretonic, right? All right, let's clear the screen. All right. This right here, what you see here, this says Ultima, penultima, and anti-penultima, right? This is an alternative system of syllable classification, and it also exists for which the location of the accent is not determinative. So in this system, the ultima is the last syllable of a word, the penultima is the next to last syllable, and the anti-penultima is the syllable before the penultima. All right? All right. Let's, oh, no chapter 4 for you. All right, so let's stop the share. All right, let's stop the screen share. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Dagesh and syllabification, right? So I'm going to share the whiteboard. And we're going to do some writing here. Let's lower that. Let's put that up there. All right. All right. So, ta. All right. All right. This is the word you. It's the Hebrew word you, right? All right. So, you will remember from chapter 2 that the Begit Kefit consonants can take a dagesh line, a hardening the sound of the consonant, right, with the dot inside, and all consonants except the gutturals and resh can take a dagesh forte. A dagesh forte doubles the consonant. The dagesh line does not affect syllabification. The dagesh forte, however, does affect syllabification because it doubles the value of the consonant. So we're going to look at the word atah, the Hebrew word for you, right? So inside the second letter here, the ta, we have the dagesh forte, right? And so because the dagesh forte doubles the value of a consonant, it must be rendered twice in transliteration, right? So transliteration, the aleph, the transliteration for the aleph would be that. And then the patak would be your A. And then the ta, we have two tas. And then the comments under the ta would be an A. And then the hey, we would have H, right? And so the dagesh forte, you will know it's a dagesh forte because if the consonant that precedes the consonant that has the dot inside of it, if the consonant preceding has a vowel, right, then the consonant with the dot inside is the dagesh forte. Okay, so watch me break up the syllables here. So the aleph, be that, and then the patak would be your A, and then your first ta would be T, so it's at, and then we have another ta, right, because it's doubled, the consonant is doubled, and then under the ta we have a comments, and that's an A, and then for the hey we have H. So at ta, at ta, you, the Hebrew word for you. So once again, dagesh forte, right? You'll know that dot inside the consonant is a dagesh forte if the preceding consonant has a vowel to it. Okay? All right. All right. So let's clear that and write this again, and you'll see how everything is separated, right? Let me do that again. All right. So you have at, right? You have at, then you have ta. right? That's how you can separate your syllables as well, okay? So this ta right here, right? I didn't write it out in gray, but pretty much it does not really exist. We're just doing that to demonstrate the doubling of the dogged forte, right? All right, so I'm gonna write out some more examples of the dogged forte here, okay? So we have hookah, 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 right? And you could divide that up like this. Let's see. Right? Right? Or you can do it how I did it previously with the word ata, right? You can write it like this. You can say, just transliterate it as you go along. The het would be ch. The kibbutz would be a u. The kof would be a q, right? Then you have the dagesh forte, which doubles the kof, so you have another q. Then you have the comments under the kof there, which is a. And then you have the hey, and we use h for hey. Hookah, right? That means a prescribed or a statute, right? Um, yabasha, yabasha, dry land or ground. Watch this. You have yabasha, which means dry land or ground, right? So you have yod. I'll do a y for yod. Then you have your patak under the yod, and I would use the a. And then we have the dot inside the bet, which is a doubling dagesh forte, right? Because the consonant preceding has a vowel, so we know that dot inside the bet is a dagesh forte, right? And so we have a bet. Then we have another bet, right? So we have two bets. And then under the bet, we have your comments. So we use an A. And then we have a shin. And then under the shin, we have a comments. Use A. And then we have hey. Right? And here, pretty much, I want you to see that we have your consonant vowel or your consonant vowel consonant. And I want you to see at the end of a word, pretty much you can have a consonant and a vowel, or a consonant and a vowel and a consonant in the word, right? But you're more so going to see a consonant vowel in the word, especially when you have a furtive patak at the end of a word that goes with pretty much like a guttural letter, and we'll see that in a moment. But watch this. So the yod is a consonant, so that Y would be that consonant, right? And then the pad tag is a vowel. Then the bet is a consonant. And then we have the next bet starts off the syllable, and that's a consonant. And then under the bet, right, we have your comments, which is a vowel. And then we have your shin. Your shin is a consonant. And under the shin, you have your comments, which is a vowel. And then you have your hey, which is a consonant. Right? Syllables rules. These are syllables rules. Right? I'm going to do one last example. And this is the word tefillah. Tefillah. I know that word sounds familiar, correct? Tefillah. And that means to intercede, prayer. It means to think or entreat, right? Tefillah. Tefillah. All right. All right. Tefillah. Now we're going to talk about those vertical two dots under the ta. Actually, next. Next, right? After I go through this. So that was the schwa. That is the schwa. The two vertical dots under the ta is the schwa, and we'll get into the schwa next because the schwa it's got a few different rules to it, right? So it's a few different rules. All right. So tefillah, the ta, we have the dot inside the ta, and that is a begid kefit consonant. The ta is, right? So that dot inside is the dagesh lene, right? So we'll use a T, right? Use a T just for now. And then we'll use an apostrophe for the schwa. And then the fe we'll use an F. And then the hirek, the one dot under the fe, we'll use an I because that's your hirek, right? And now the lamed has a dot inside. That lamed is a dagesh forte. The dot inside the lamed is a dagesh forte because the preceding vowel in front, the preceding consonant right in front of the lamed, it does have a vowel, right? The vowel it has is the hirek under the fe. So the dot inside the lamed is the dagesh forte. So we have two L's pretty much, right? And then under the lamed, you have your comments, and then you have your hey, so we use a H. So tefillah. Now the vocal schwa, we're going to talk about that next. But the schwa under the ta, it is vocal because it starts the beginning of a word, right? So it pretty much, in this case, it'll sort of act as a vowel. So so in this case, the ta is a consonant. And in this case, since that schwa is vocal, we'll put it as a vowel for now. It's a special vowel, so put that right there, right at the top. And then the fe is a consonant. And then the hirek is a vowel. And then you have two lameds, correct? Let's see. So the lamed, we have two lameds, right? And then the comments, the a is a vowel, and then the hey is a consonant, right? All right. Tefillah, to intercede, prayer, entreat, think, right? All right, so far things are relatively simple. So there is, however, one potentially confusing issue, and the Beged Kefet letters can take a Dagesh forte or a Dagesh lene, right? So question, how can you tell which Dagesh is being used in a Beged Kefet? Well, I've already said them, but I'll repeat them here from the book, right? So the Dagesh in a Beged Kefet is a forte if preceded by a vowel, right? I already said that. Number two, the Dagesh in a Beged Kefet is a lene if preceded by a consonant, right? And you will learn how to distinguish between vocal and silent schwa next, right? And lastly, a Beged Kefet letter at the beginning of a word takes a Dagesh lene unless the previous words end in a vowel, right? Right. So you guessed it, right now we're going to talk about the schwa and syllabification. The schwa and syllabification. So I'm going to do a lot of drawing on the whiteboard, okay? All right, so in the video I did for chapter 2, I talked a little bit about the schwa when it came to the reduced vowel chart, okay? So there's two types of schwas, right? There's a silent schwa and a vocal schwa. And the silent schwa has a 0 value and is never pronounced or transliterated. The vocal schwa maintains a hurried pronunciation and sounds like the as in amuse. That's where we get the in Bereshit, right? So it is transliterated either as an upside down E or as a superscript E, like a superscript. When I had wrote this, this little E at the top is like a superscript, right? Sometimes it's written as an upside down E, right? The vocal schwa is, all right? So the vocal schwa will always occur in an open syllable. Let me say that again. The vocal schwa will always occur in an open syllable. So your open syllable is what? Consonant and a vowel. So a silent schwa will always come at the end of a closed syllable, that is, after a short vowel. So remember in chapter 2, the video I did, you learn short vowels, you learn changeable long vowels, you learn unchangeable long, and you learn reduced. It is very important to learn which vowels are short, which vowels are long, which vowels are reduced, right? Very important. So we're going to learn how to distinguish between a vocal schwa and a silent schwa, right? So we're going to give some examples here. And so the schwa is silent if it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. Let's look at the word queen, Malka. 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 All right. So let me say this again. The schwa is silent if it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. This is just a different way of saying, as above, that a silent schwa will always come at the end of a closed syllable. So the schwa here in the word Malka, queen, is under the lamet, right? So it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. So the short vowel is preceded by is the patak under the mem, right? And it comes at the end of a closed syllable, right? So watch this. M. M for the mem. A for patak. And then the lamet closes that syllable, right? Consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay? So it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. This schwa here under the lamet. It's immediately preceded by a short vowel, and it comes at the end of a closed syllable, right? Remember, this is a closed syllable, right? Okay, right? Now let's look at some more examples. Let's look at the word pharaoh. Paro. 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 Right? Uh, Alrighty. Paro. So a schwa is silent when immediately preceded by a short vowel. So in paro, the schwa under the resh is preceded by the short vowel patak and therefore is silent. Right? Let's look at another example. Mishpate. Mishpate, judgments of, right? Judgments of, let's see. All right? Mishpate. So the first of the two contiguous or side-by-side schwas within a word is silent. Okay, so if, for example, the schwa under the shin, right, the schwa under the shin of mishpete is silent, and the schwa under the pei, let's make sure that's a pei, right, and the schwa under the pei is vocal. The word is syllabified as mishpete. All right, so this right here, silent. It closes the syllable, right? And this one right here is vocal or pronounced. All right? So it would be the mem, we have an M. And then for the hirek, we have an I. And then for the shin, this SH, and it closes the syllable, right? Mish, mish. And then the schwa under the pei would be vocal. So we'll have a pei, right, with the superscript schwa to make sure it's vocal, right? And then you have your tet. You have your tet with your sete yod, right? Mishpete, mishpete, mishpete. It's like a short eh or short sound. It's or eh. It's or eh. It's or eh. Right? Mishpete. All right. Now we're gonna look at the word katabt. Is she right? She writes or something like that. I forget. Okay, so here we go. All right. So a schwa at the end of a word is silent, as in katabt. Oh, wait. I wrote it wrong. I knew I did something wrong. I was like, no, that doesn't look right. My bad. Oh, my bad. It's supposed to be a ta. All right. All right. Katabt. Katabt. So both schwas in this form are silent. And so the word is syllabified as katabt. 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 All right. So I'll write it out for you. Let's see. That's how they have it, right? So the kaf, the bagakefit, it's a dagesh line in there. So the kaf is K. The comments under the kaf would be an A. Then you have the ta. And then you have the A for the patak under the ta. Then you have the bet. And then you have the tet. Ka tabbed. Ka tabbed. Ka tabbed. All right. All right. So I'll say this again for ka tabbed. A schwa at the end of a word is silent, as in ka tab. Right? So both schwas in this form are silent. The word is syllabified as ka tab. And this is the only exception to the above principle. All right. So we were talking about rules for the schwa being silent in these last three examples, right? So we're going to give some examples of how schwa is vocal. All right. So let's clear this out. All right. Let's look at the word beracha, blessing. Beracha, blessing. So the bet would be a B. And then the two dots under the bet, the schwa is vocal, right? So we superscript it. Then the resh. Then the comments under the resh is an ah. And then the kaf, we would have it as a ch, a soft sound. Then under the kaf, we have a comments. And then we have a hey. Beracha. Or you can write it like this. You practice your transliteration, all right? All right, so the schwa is vocal if not immediately preceded by a short vowel. That is to say, in all other circumstances, the schwa is vocal. All right, so the initial schwa, or the schwa that begins a word, is always vocal. So the schwa under the bet, it's beginning a word, so it's vocal, it's pronounced. All right, and you can see it's an open syllable. It's an open syllable. The bet is a consonant, and then the schwa, the vocal schwa, would, superscript, it would count as like a vowel in this case, right? So that's a open syllable, right? And so let's give another example, right? So the initial schwa is always vocal, as in the word beracha, beracha, blessing, right? Remember when we did the side-by-side example for mishpete? Judgments of, let's see. Right? And so the second of two contiguous side-by-side schwas within a word is vocal, as in mishpete, right? The schwa under the pe, right, is vocal because it is preceded by the consonant shin and not a short vowel. The schwa under the shin is silent. Right? Right? Another example, we're going to look at Hamelachim. Hamelachim, the kings. Let's see. Let's do that better. All right. So a schwa under any consonant with a dagesh forte is vocal, as in Hamelachim. Dagesh forte. All right. So let me say that again. A schwa under any consonant with dagesh forte is vocal, as in hamelachim, and the dagesh in the mem with the schwa, right, must be forte because it is not a begid kefit letter, right? And the last word here. Let's see. Kotevim. Kotevim. All right. So a schwa after a long vowel, as in kotevim, right? Let me say that again. A schwa after a long vowel is vocal, as in kotebim. All right, let's get back to the whiteboard here. Okay, so kotebim. Kotebim, I forgot to put the hirek under the bet. Okay, so kotebim, like it's like reporters or writers or journalists, I believe. Right, kotebim. All right, so the schwa is preceded by the changeable long O vowel and therefore is vocal. All right, so kotevim, the holum is a long vowel, right? So the schwa, the consonant it's under, right? If the consonant it's under comes after a long vowel, it is vocal, it's pronounced, right? All right, so let's write the transliteration here. Let's see. Right? Kotebim. 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 All right. Let's erase this right here for a hot second. All right. So that schwa is vocal. And then we'll do some consonant vowel consonant. So as you can see, the kaf is a consonant. So, and then the holum on the top left is a vowel, and then the ta, right? The ta is a consonant, and the schwa under the consonant would be vocal. So acts as a vowel. We'll superscript that vowel, right? And then the bet is a consonant. And then we have the hirek yod. Hirek yod is a vowel. And then the mem sofit is a consonant, right? So here you see an open syllable. Here you see another open syllable. And here you see what? A closed syllable. So you see your open and close syllables, right? Kotebim. Kotebim. All right. So it is important at this point to note that the gutturals cannot take a vocal schwa, but they can take a silent schwa, as in shemaita, shemata, right? I believe that's he heard, but let's double check. All right. Oh no, that's you heard. You heard. You hear and obey, or you heard, right? So let's look at that. So let's look at this example here. Shamaita. Um, um, all right. You hear and obey. You heard. All right. So Shamaita. All right. So the gutturals cannot take a vocal schwa, but they can take a silent schwa, as in Shamaita. You heard that, right? So the schwa under the in, right, comes at the end of a closed syllable, and it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. It is therefore silent. All right. When dealing with the schwa in Hebrew, remember to keep it simple. A schwa is silent if it is immediately preceded by a short vowel. In all other circumstances, it is vocal. Right. So sha, shmai, ta. Right. Shemaita. So I'll say this, right? Again, gutturals cannot take a vocal schwa, but they can take a silent schwa. So the schwa under the in, right? The silent guttural consonant, right? The schwa under the in comes at the end of a closed syllable, right? So this mem is a consonant. The patak under the mem is a vowel, and that in, right? It's a consonant. That schwa is what? Silent. The schwa under the in is silent. Comes at the end of a closed syllable, right? All right. All righty. Let's move on. Let's look at this word here. All right. All righty. This is the word chokmah. Chokmah, wisdom. we're going to talk a little bit about the comments and the comments hatuf, right? So before I was saying the comments and the comments hatuf look alike, right? If you go to the video number 2 for chapter 2, looking at the vowel system, you'll see that, right? So you'll already know from that the two vowels look alike, comments and comments hatuf, right? The comments is the changeable long a, it's ah as in father, right? And then the comments hatuf, it's the short o as in bottle. So how do you tell the difference, right? In general, the comments occurs much more frequently than the comments hatuf. So when in doubt, defer to the comments. And so since, however, this method is not error free, the following rules are given, right? The comments hatuf, or the short o, occurs only in a closed and unaccented syllable, right? So in the word hokmah, right? Hokmah or hokmah, right? The vowel under the het is a comments hatuf, right? This is a comments hatuf, right? Because it occurs in a closed syllable that is unaccented. Closed syllable that's unaccented, meaning it does not have that top left stress, the top arrow pointing to the left that gives it that stress that says it's accented, right? Okay. The vowel under the mem is a comment since it occurs in an accented syllable, right? Because this is the tonic, right? Remember, this is the tonic, this is the foundation. So that tonic is accented, right? And so the word occurring most frequently with the comments hatuf is the word kol, which means all of, each of, or every, right? And kol is let's do this. Let's do this for kol. Lamed. Right? So kol, it means what? All of, each of, or every. Right? So I'll repeat. In hokmah, the vowel under the het is a comments hatuf since it occurs in a closed syllable that is unaccented. The vowel under the mem is a comments since it occurs in an accented syllable. And so the word occurring most frequently with the comments hatuf is kol, which means all of, each of, or every. Right? Let's erase this. We're going to look at dabar. Dabar. Actually, let's clear that and write in black. Dabar. Right? Dabar. Okay, so the comments, the changeable long a, right? It's ah. It prefers an open pre-tonic syllable or a closed accented syllable. So in dabar, both vowels are comments. The first is in an open pre-tonic syllable. The second is in a closed accented syllable. Okay? All right. We're going to look at the word houses. Houses. Okay. Let's clear this. All right. Okay. And then, okay. So we're still talking about how you can distinguish a comments from a comments hatu, right? This is the word batim. Batim. All right. A small symbol called a meteg, right? It's called a meteg. Meteg. All right, a small symbol called a meteg may also be used to distinguish between comments and comments hatu, right? The meteg is a small vertical line that is placed beneath a consonant and to the left of a vowel, as in the word batim, right? In this word, the meteg is the vertical line to the left of the comments and under the bet. In terms of vowel identification, the meteg occurs with the comments and not with the comments hatu. Let me say that again. In terms of vowel identification, the meteg occurs with the comments and not with the comments hatu, right? So in this word houses, right, batim, the vowel symbol under the bet could be taken either as comments or comments hatu. And the appearance of the meteg to the left of the vowel, right, to the left of the vowel, the comments under the bet, it identifies it as a comments and not comments hatu. And so when we saw the word hokma, right, the vowel under the chet was the comments hatuf, a short o, and therefore is not marked with a meteg. And so that kaf in hokma had a schwa in it, right? And so that schwa under that kaf in the word hokma is silent because it comes at the end of a closed syllable that contains a short vowel. All right. So this is how you tell the difference between the comments and the comments hatuf. That's what I just explained. All right. All righty. Let's clear this out. Let's talk about furtive patak. Furtive patak. Let's look at some examples. Let's see. Some examples here. Oh, no, no, no. Let's not write in red right now. All right. We're going to talk about furtive patak. Right? Furtive patak. Furtive patak. Let's do 2 examples at a time. And then let's see. All right. So the first word we have boreach. Boreach, it means to flee, run away, chase, or bolt quickly. All right. Boreach. Let's see. Now, and then noteach. All right, and noteach means to strike in or plant. You know, when you're working in the soil, you pretty much dig a hole in. You're striking through the soil so that you can plant. That's what that means, right? Noteach, noteach. So I'm saying boreach and noteach. So the patak under the het in the first word here, boreach, that's a furtive patak. So is the patak under this ayin, under the second word here of noteach, right? Noteach. So it's called a furtive patak under these gutturals, right? And so furtive patak. Furtive patak, right? Okay, so you have learned that Hebrew words are pronounced after the consonant with which they are associated, right? So the bet with a patak under it is rendered as ba and not ab. There is, however, one minor exception to this rule. When a word ends in het or ayin, a patak may appear beneath this consonant and must be pronounced and transliterated before the guttural. This special use of the patak is called furtive patak. Okay? In terms of syllabification, the furtive patak is not considered to be a full vowel, nor is it counted in syllabification. Right? All right. So, let's just undo what I wrote in. All right. So, boreach, to flee, run away, or chase, right? Bo, reach. Or bo, re, ach. All right. So, in other words, boreach, let's see. Boreach, to flee, run away, chase, or bolt quickly, right? You see this dividing line in the word boreach. You see the dividing line between the bet and the resh, right? So you have the bet and then the holum, right? The furtive patak is not considered to be a full vowel, and it's not counted in syllabification. So you think it would be re or resh and then sere and then another line, but it's not. It's reach, just one syllable with that, all right? Same with noteach here. The word noteach, to strike in, to plant, you have the line. I have the dividing line between the noon and the tet, right? So the tet with the set A and the in with that furtive pad tag there, that's counted as like, in syllabification, it's counted as like one syllable. Okay? Let's look at two more examples here of the furtive pad tag, and then we'll be done with that. Then we're going to talk about two more things, and then we're done. I know it's a pretty long video, but this is an extensive chapter here, right? Rakiach, expanse, right? Rakiach, expanse. So, Rakiach. Yeah. Oh, let me draw my resh a little better. It's a janky looking resh, huh? All right. Resh. Key. Right. Allergies really getting to me today. Rakiach, expanse, right? You see that dividing line between the resh and the kof, right? That's how you divide those syllables up. So pretty much it would be resh, the R for resh, and for the comments we have a, and then a kof, which would be your Q, and then your hirek yod, which is your right? And then your in. Put that as an A, and then sorry, I said that wrong. The A would represent the furtive pad tag, and then the swoop right here would represent the in, right? When you're transliterating, right? Rakiach, expanse. All right. One more example of a word we all know and love, ruach. 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 Right? Ruach. This is monosyllabic. Right? It's monosyllabic, so guess what? Still look like this, ruach. And you would transliterate it as right? This represents your furtive patak. Ruach, breath, wind, spirit. And this is what? Monosyllabic. All right? Ruach. So we just learned a little bit about the furtive pad tack. All right. Now, let's look at this word here. A word we all don't like, but we all have an issue with it. This means sin, right? But we're going to talk about this bad baby right here, right? When aleph occurs without a vowel, right, immediately under it or on top of it, right, it is quiescent, as in this word here for sin, which is chatat, chatat, all right? When the aleph is quiescent, it is not considered to be a consonant with reference to the rules of syllabification. So this word is divided as this, right? Let's see. All right. Remember the gray tet to the right side of the red line is not really there. It's just because the tet has that dagesh forte inside of it, right? So we're showing you how things are rendered. All right, so it's chatat. Chatat. All right, so that quiescent aleph pretty much it takes on the vowel preceding it, right? So I'll say that again. When aleph occurs without a vowel, it is quiescent, as in hatat, sin. All right. When the aleph is quiescent, it is not considered to be a consonant with reference to the rules of syllabification. So this word should be divided as I have it here, right? So the chet, you can write a ch for the chet. You can write a for the patak, and then we have two tets. One tet to end a syllable, another tet to begin a syllable, right? And that dash in between the two tets, you know, would divide that. So the comments under the one tet here would be a. Well, it's not considered a consonant. Sorry. Hold on. All right. So the het, it's a consonant. The patak under the head is a vowel, and then we have one ta. We have one tet to end a syllable, another tet to begin a syllable, and that tet would be a consonant. And then under the consonant of tet, we have your comments, right? A vowel. And then the aleph, you know, pretty much takes on the vowel sound from the previous consonant, right? And then the tet here, the ta at the end is a consonant. I apologize for that. Right? Syllabification. Syllabification. All right. All right. That's the quiescent aleph. Let me spell quiescent here, somewhere here. Let's write it up top here. Quiescent. Spelled like this. Quiescent. Right? Quiescent. All right. Now, we're going to talk about Hebrew diphthongs. And this is the last thing we're going to talk about. Going to be talking about in this video, right? Hebrew diphthongs. All right, let's clear this out. Hebrew diphthongs. Please don't get any crazy thoughts in your head about this Hebrew word diphthong. All right. All right. So Hebrew diphthong, you know, it's a cluster of consonants and vowels that always act together as a unit. Right. So it's a cluster of consonants and vowels that always act together as a unit. Right. It's called a diphthong. It takes a real dip when you actually pronouncing it, right? So it's a grammatical term used to identify sounds normally distinct, but now functioning as a single unit, right? The most common Hebrew diphthong is I, right? So, I, right? That's the most common one. And syllables that contain this diphthong are considered to be closed, right? Now, I want to show you something. This is just one example, but there's word, you know, Shemayim. Shemayim means heaven, right? Heaven or skies, right? And then Bayit means uh, uh, house, right? So let's erase this. That was the most common, but we're gonna draw them out. Shamayim. Right? Shamayim, right? Shamayim. You see that diphthong in the red? I, right? It functions as a single unit. This is a closed uh, closed syllable, right? So that diphthong, it's a closed syllable, right? All right. And then we have the monosyllabic bayit. Let's write that out. Right? Bayit. This right here, right? Is what you call monosyllabic. Whoops. Monosyllabic. All right. this word, by it, monosyllabic. So the accented mark, the arrow that going to the left on top of the bet, and then you have the patak under the bet, then you have your yod, then you have your hidek. That acts as one pronunciation, right? It's a closed syllable. So by it, it's monosyllabic, one syllable. It's considered one syllable, right? All right. So I want to show you something from Hebrew for Christians. I like this. Let's share the screen. Right? You have some diphthongs here. And they have 6 of these diphthongs. Right? 6 of them. They're all written with an aleph as the consonant. However, when you see a diphthong, you're really not supposed to be paying attention to the consonant. The consonant is not always going to be aleph. The aleph is just there as an example consonant, but you're really supposed to be paying attention to the pattern of how the vowel point or the nakudo look within this cluster called the diphthong, right? So from right to left, you have av or av, right? And then you have next to that you have ui. You can see this pronunciation ui. And I believe it's like Judges chapter 6 verse 28. Let me see. Judges chapter 6 verse 28. When it's talking about something was built, right? It would be habanui, right? So the second one over, you see that aleph with the shurek and the yod. That's ui, right? And the third cluster over, the third diphthong over is oi. You know, like in the word goy, right? So you have the aleph, and that's just an example consonant. But the main thing to look at is that holamwa and that yod. That's pronounced as oi, right? The fourth diphthong over, you have the aleph, right? And again, you're not always going to see the aleph, but that's the example of the consonant, right? So pretty much you're paying attention to the pattern of the vowel point, the nakudo, how you see them, right? So the fourth one over here, you have the aleph, and then you have a patak, a yod, and a hidek, right? That patak, yod, and a hidek, right, is what we just said. That would be like one of the major or common diphthongs, right? And that's I, right? And then the last two diphthongs there, you have a consonant and then a comments in a yod, and then you have a consonant, patak in a yod, and both of those diphthongs are pronounced as I, right? You got Shaddai, right? The mighty one, right? That has that patak and that yod there. But then look at the word Adonai here. Adonai. You have your aleph with your hatef patak, and then you have your dalet with your holam, and then you have your noon, and then under the noon, look, you have your comments and your yod. That's where we get Adonai. All right, so those are your Hebrew diphthongs there. Another example where you can see the ui example is Nehemiah chapter 7, somewhere in there. Nehemiah chapter 7. I believe it's like I think out of the first 4 verses. All right. So that's chapter 3. Right. So this is chapter 3, syllabification and pronunciation. learning basics of biblical Hebrew, right? So this is the third and final video. And if you want to learn biblical Hebrew, if after you gone through video number 1, number 2, number 3, after you've gone through learning the alphabet, learning the vowel, and learning the syllables and pronunciation, if you have a good foundational grasp on that and you think you can move further along in studying Hebrew, if you're honest and sincere about believing in yourself that you can actually read the Bible in its original content and translate as you go along, then this can help you, right? If you can get these 3 videos, if you can get these 3 foundational um, teachings, right, you can move on further. You can come into the class, and I'll help you out. Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? Okay. So, with that being said, um, if you have any questions or concerns, you can, definitely comment, or you can contact me at my email, duckandodge1@gmail.com, duckndodge1@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description box as well. All right. So it's your girl, Sister Ashanti. Hope you have fun learning, happy studying, and ask the Holy Spirit to lead and guide you into a sound conclusion as to if you are going to take on the journey of learning basics of biblical Hebrew. All right? All right. So, shalom, shalom, mishpacha wa habarim. Spread that love, grace, mercy, compassion, and patience out there. All right? All right. 916 Shine Shine in the building. Check out the other videos I have on my channel. Check out, if you will, Sal Showtime Debate Talk for You. I'm on every other Wednesday, and it's a segment called The Second Quarter. That comes on every other Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next time I'll be on is the 6th of March. All right? I'll be on the 6th of March. All right? All right. Shalom, shalom.